What's up guys, my name is Doug. Welcome to the channel if you are new, welcome back if you are not new. We're going to continue our throwback series on Kanye West this week with his next project, 808's and Heartbreak. I personally really love this album. I think it had tremendous impact on modern music, modern artists like Migos, Travis Scott, Young Thug, people who really use auto-tune as an instrument really in their production and in their music. Honestly, this really paved the way for them to be able to do that and be so big, you know, and so this was at a really tough time in Kanye's life. It's an album that's full of hurt, that's full of pain. But it's also a really beautifully produced album. It's got lots of great vibes on here, really. It's not as great lyrically as The College Dropout or Late Registration, but in terms of musicality on this, we really see an evolution and a shift in Kanye's production, and it really becomes something really special. His production gets more and more cinematic, it gets more and more wavy, and he creates some amazing vibes on this project. So I'm really excited to be covering it for you guys today. I would appreciate it if you guys would follow me on my social media and consider supporting this channel on Patreon. It's the reason that I'm able to keep doing this full time for you guys. I really appreciate you all for your support. And with that being said, we're going to dive right into 808's and Heartbreak with Say You Will. Let's get it.
Now I'm awake, sleepless in you.
The drums on this project are probably some of the hardest Kanye drums.
In my room.
The choir in the background is so great.
When I grab your neck, I touch your soul.
So wavy. Yeah, man, such an amazing opening track. It's so wavy, there's so much hurt and pain in the way that he's performing this track. The beat is so beautifully simple, but with that choir in the background and the really subtle keys and that classic little bleep sound that goes on during this beat, man, it's just such an amazing vibe throughout this entire track. And you get so lost in this production. So that's one thing that's probably going to be recurring throughout this entire project, is just me getting lost in the beats. Next track is Welcome to Heartbreak with Kid Cudi. This introduction with this cello is so amazing. I remember hearing the introduction to this song for the first time. I was standing in my kitchen with my headphones on, and I had already listened to so many other Kanye albums, and I had seen so much hate for 808's and Heartbreak on the internet, and seen so many people saying that it's not as good as all his other projects, and that it's not a classic, and that Kanye's first 5 albums aren't classics, and that only 4 of them are, and that 808's should be excluded, and a bunch of stuff like this. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and listen to this, because Kanye hasn't made a bad album in my opinion yet, so why not? And when I heard that cello for the first time, going into that riff with those drums dropping in, I got goosebumps, and I remember jumping around in my kitchen like a maniac dancing to this introduction. And I remember going back. I mean, I didn't even get to listen to the first lyrics of the song for the first like 10 times I heard it, because I would just play that introduction, the drum drop, and then rewind it, and play that introduction and the drum drop and rewind it, and listen to that over and over again because of how awesome it sounded to me. So I love it.
My friend showed me pictures of his kids. He said his daughter got a brand new report card. But I couldn't hear him all the way in first class. Bad enough that I showed up late. Welcome to Heartbreak. And my head keeps spinning.
Man, the synths coming in towards the end and creating that really cinematic and epic vibe with that main cello loop, the piano playing that melody, those incredible drums, dude. Like I said earlier, the drums on this project might be Kanye's best drums. Man, I love this track so much. And he's talking about how he chased a good life his entire life, and he got so much success, and he looks around and people are happy because they've got families, they've got children, they've got, you know, families around them, and he's alone and rich and successful, and he's not happy. And so he's wondering to himself now, where did he go wrong? Chasing this success, trying to live a good life, and realizing that now that he's got it, he's still not happy. That's such an awesome, awesome song. Next track is Heartless.
Story ever told, somewhere far along. How could you be so
The flute!
as the things that we've been through? I mean, after all the things we got into. Lonely in the night, I hear them talk. How could you be so
Vocalizing in the background with the auto-tune. Come on, man.
Oh no,
such a great song. I love that pan flute. Kanye harmonizing with the auto-tune in the background is something that was so original and fresh at that time. You can't tell me that it didn't influence the way music is made today. You can't tell me that it didn't influence the way auto-tune is used and manipulated. I absolutely love the beat to that track. I love the vibe to that track, and I love, honestly, his performance. You know, the auto-tune, and you can hear the hurt in his voice and what he's talking about and getting your heart broken. It's relatable, and it's an awesome track. Next song is amazing.
I'm exhausted, barely breathing.
I love the keys.
I'm a monster.
The keys is so fire, bro.
No, my bed from me. My rent so amazing. It's amazing. Make history, strive for victory. Standing at the dawn on a full moon. I was bred to get it in.
I love the pianos on this song. That might be my favorite thing about it. The pianos on this track are great. I love the beat, you know, I love the hook, even though it's a little repetitive. I love it. I don't know what it is about it, but it's stuck in my head. I think Jeezy did his thing on his verse. I like that track. Next track is Love Lockdown. This beat's so insane.
Had to run from you. I'm in love with you. No, never, never, no, never want to.
The piano.
I wanna move.
Yo, the drums, bro.
I got something to lose, so I gotta move. I tell you for if I got through, you lose.
The percussion, bro. Oh, man. You can't tell me those drums aren't epic, dude. You can't tell me those pianos don't sound great. The percussion sounds awesome. The vibe to this track is so sick, dude. The whole, all the different moods that you get from the song, you know, it's such an interesting song to listen to. He keeps it so simple during his verses, basically just him and that 808 loop and some pianos, and then out of nowhere for the hook, he just brings in these incredible drums, dude. It's such an awesome track. Next song is Paranoid.
Baby, don't worry about it. You worry about the wrong things, the wrong things. Tell me right now, you really wanna spend your whole life, but I can make it fly, make it touch the sky. Hey, baby, so don't worry about it.
It's just so incredible to me how different he manages to make his projects sound from each other, you know? Late Registration sounds a little similar to the College Dropout, but when you hit Graduation, and then you hit 808's and Heartbreak, and then you hit My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, like every single album sounds so different from the last, and he manages to make it all sound so good anyways. Such an awesome feeling to this track, dude. I love those drums, and this beat is... It almost sounds like one of those really energetic 80s pop songs, you know? And he manages to make it sound modern and fresh and fun. Next track is ROBOCOP. The drums, man. Come on.
Straight up out of movie scene, gotta turn my light to Stephen King. I told her there's some things she don't need to know. Okay.
This instrumental sounds like it could be in Frozen, you know, like in a Disney movie. It's so like uplifting, and there's like the little bells going on with the strings, and it's so like childish and happy, and really sounds like it could be in a movie. And that's one thing that I love about Kanye's music, is that it's so cinematic. Nice. I love the filter he puts on his voice.
You're just an LA girl.
His strings are so beautiful.
You're kidding me, you must be joking. Or
you know, the instrumentals on this are impeccable. They really sound so cinematic and so beautiful and so amazing to me. And then, you know, the lyrics are talking about heartbreak, as with most of these tracks on this project, and talking about how much it hurts to be hurt by the spoiled little LA girl, you know. Man, is the production on this project so amazing to me, you know. And that, again, the lyrics on this, like I said, aren't as great as Late Registration, College Dropout, but the vibe on this is just, you can think and you can just reflect and you can get lost in the music and you can just listen to how beautiful his production really is, and that's something that I really appreciate about this project, man. Next to Streetlights. He manages to make the synth sound sad.
Ain't always set in stone. Let me know, let me know. Happen to be just like moments. I paid my fare, see, I know my destination, but I'm just not there in the streets. Seems like streetlights glowing. I know my destination, but I'm the streetlights glowing. I know my destination.
I might shed a tear, dude. It's a beautiful song, dude. You know? It's a beautiful song. I smile listening to it just because of how it makes me feel. You know, the vibe to this is just so great. Like, it's sad, but at the same time I'm smiling because of how hopeful almost it sounds. You know, streetlights passing by and they're illuminating your destination, and you know where you're going, but you're just not there, but you're gonna get there someday. It's just it's a beautiful song. I love it. Next song is Bad News.
Heard the news when you decide right.
Dum, 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 dum. I love how tribal this sounds.
Decide to break the rules.
It manages to create this really dark vibe. I love it. Strings, man. And the 808's. This could be the instrumental to like a novella, you know? Something really sad and epic is going on. Another really cinematic track with a really dark, eerie vibe. Bringing in those strings towards the end and just having the music play us out is tremendous. It's insane to see the influence that he had on artists nowadays, you know, who use the auto-tune, because he used to distort his voice, he used to use the auto-tune, he used to run his voice through the filters, and all of this 11 years ago. And nowadays, it's something that's so popular and so widely used by so many people. It's insane to see his influence. Next track is See You in My Nightmares.
I'm cool, but not quite. Cause
yeah, dude.
After tonight, they will be ready that you know. Girl, I'm finished. I thought we were committed.
The performance with the strings in the background is so epic, dude. Dude, Lil Wayne's performance on this is so insane. His delivery is so perfect for this. Especially how he starts getting so aggressive and the strings just come up out of nowhere from right behind him. And it's just such an epic track, dude. I love it. Next track is Coldest Winter, and I really, really love this track, dude. It's got some of the hardest drums on this project.
Miles away, her love's 1,000 miles away. Love again, memories made. No, 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 no. And I can't explain. Her love is all, but my friend, will I ever love? No, 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 no.
I love this song, dude.
Love again. Will I ever love again? And take the snow away. Can it melt away?
These drums, dude. Man, I love this song so much, dude. It's just such an epic track. I love the drums to it. I love how easy it is to sing along to. I love the melody that he sings throughout the song. I just really like this track, man. The last song on this project is Pinocchio Story.
Everything in the world figured out. There is no vacation spot I could fly. Real life, what does it feel like? Be a real boy.
This is so bluesy, bro.
Be a real boy. Pinocchio Story. Perspective.
Yeah, man, such an awesome track. Looking for that piece of him that makes him feel alive, like a real boy. Pinocchio Story. Such a bluesy track, such a soulful, hurtful track, dude. I love the people screaming in the background. I love the reverb. I love how atmospheric that makes this track feel, you know? It's a great way to end this project off, dude. let's talk about 808's and Heartbreak. This project is severely underrated by too many people, and honestly, it is kind of a shame, you know, because it's probably one of his more influential projects. It paved the way for so many modern artists who are huge globally and make such great music, and we don't really give the credit to Kanye that he deserves for making this project because we're so used to remembering the situation that we were in when it came out, you know, where we were coming off of graduation, 2 amazing albums before graduation, and expecting something so huge from Kanye. And he came out with the shortest project that he had made to date, and all of them are about love, and all of them are produced so differently than all the previous 3 projects, and he's hurt. You can hear it in his performance, you can hear it in his delivery, and it's not what people were used to from Kanye, and so they kind of shut this project down without really giving it another chance. But if you go back and listen to this, all these songs are so great, they're so influential and so amazingly made, and it's tremendous to me that he was able to make something like this throughout everything that he was going through, you know? All of these tracks sound so cinematic and so real when you listen to them. You can almost imagine like a scene out of a movie when you listen to these instruments, to these instrumentals, and it is such a testament to how creative and how talented he is and how influential he is. I was really thinking to myself yesterday about Kanye's legacy, and in all honesty, the man has 8 studio albums. I guarantee that the vast majority of people, if I were to throw any one of his studio albums out at them and say, is this a bad album? They would all say no to any one of his 8 albums. I mean, sure, if you compare them to each other, he's got weaker albums and he's got stronger albums, but in looking at it from a general point of view, he has never released a single bad project. And not only that, but the first 5 of those 8, to me, are classics. To most people, 4 of them are arguably classics, which is still 4 out of 8 albums classics. Like, that's insane. And not only that, but to have maintained his relevancy from the early 2000s all the way to almost 2020 now, and not only have influenced music so much, but fashion. I mean, growing up, I was telling my fiance about this, growing up, at least where I was at, when you wanted good shoes, it was Nike or nothing. At least that was the way that I saw it. That was the impression that I had. And looking at Adidas now and how huge they are, I mean, with the Yeezy clothing line and the shoes coming out, I mean, just his impact on that culture was just so insane. So it's insane to see how relevant he is and how impactful he is and how influential he is and how great his music is. I still don't see how people don't give him that credit that he deserves, you know? I was really thinking to myself that in terms of artistry, he might be the greatest artist of the 21st century. He really might be. And it's tough, you can really make a case for that, you know? And I might hold him in that esteem. I really might, because he's a tough person to be a fan of. Because he's really controversial and he's always saying something insane and crazy and he's always acting up on Twitter. But in terms of his artistry, you really can't knock the man. He's just insanely talented. So that is what listening to this project makes me reflect on, it makes me think about, is just how tremendous he is for having made this in that situation that he was in when people were expecting so much from him, and he just threw them a huge curveball and told them, this is what you guys are gonna like a couple of years from now, so listen to this, before anybody else had done it. It's such a tremendous project. Going back and listening to it is such a treat. I had a blast listening to this. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it if you guys would consider supporting this channel on Patreon. It really helps it to keep moving forward and for me to keep making these videos full time for you guys. I appreciate you all so much for the support. We're growing insanely fast, partially because of that Playboy Cardi video I did. I hope you all are enjoying that too. I'll be back in another video very soon. Next is my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which is my personal favorite Kanye West album. So I'm very excited about that. Till then, peace.